All right, here we are. We've got them both set up. Why do we have them both set up? Because we had a poll. So we've got the EON EON612, and the poll turned out the results that the Alto TS312 was what you wanted to see it go up against. Now, this is like putting a high performance against a brute muscle car. They get the job done, and they both do it really, really well. So this is the big thing. Which one's, going to be your choice, and that's really going to be up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the differences, the pros and cons of both speakers, and then we'll take a lot of listening to it and see what we think. All right, so here we are. We've got it. We've got the JBL set up on this side. We've got the Alto set up on this side. We've got lights in front of both of them. So now I'll be able to, as we're demonstrating, have either the Alto on or have the JBL on. So easy enough to figure out. We also have an MPM 3000 from Marantz Professional in front of the camera. So this way we've got a mic that's going to pick up the whole ambient sound. What I'm going to do now is turn my body pack off, and we'll get to the demo. Just to give you an idea, in the US, $300. In the US right now, $450. $150 do separate the two power-wise. These two companies actually list their peak and their RMS now because they want to be that kind of company. The 612 was 500 watts with a split of 350 and 150 on the horn. Alto, you've got 650 and 350 on top. That's proportionally to balance out. They have an advantage in power because they came out after these guys. Now you got to remember, the TS2 and the TS1 were launched after the 612 was launched. So definitely a lot of time to catch up and throw a lot more power into it. I do believe that this speaker one day will get replaced. It is the oldest one out of the series right now, so should it have been replaced already? Maybe, but at the same time, it's giving you incredible value. All they've done with the speaker is drop the price on it and kept it the same, so that's a big, big plus. Now remember, they both don't have Bluetooth on it, even though a lot of people see this and go, well, on the top three features, the third feature is Bluetooth integration. That refers to the app that drives the system. It uses a Bluetooth app technology to make this guy work. It's not Bluetooth for music streaming, it's Bluetooth for interfacing into the actual unit. Same thing here, no Bluetooth, but you do get the option of buying a Bluetooth Total from Alto, which by the way also works on the JBL. So that's an option for both units. Now, always talk about a unit being really great value if it's good for renting. So if you're looking for a speaker that other people are going to use, so you're not the primary person that sets it up and does everything with it all the time, and you baby it and you know exactly how to use it and you don't want to blow it up. If you're not the person who's going to be operating the speaker all the time, you might want to buy this guy. Why do I say that? Because on the back, it actually has mechanical inset switches to go from microphone to line input. And that's a big plus advantage. It means you can really crank this thing up and not overclock it, not get it to a point where you're going to cause damage to the product. A lot of people will actually cover that up in the back, and we'll take a closer look at the back in a minute, but that's, you know, a big advantage of this guy. It's rough, it's tough, it'll get the job done, and other people can use it besides yourself, and you don't have to worry about them breaking it. So that's a big plus. Now, that being said, this one. You want to be the person in charge of this speaker. The reason is just like all speakers that we see today, well, a lot of them, one knob is going to go between the line level, and at some point it's going to start converting into a microphone input. So that means you can easily overclock it. People think a volume knob as being 0 to 10, where in this case it's not. It's proportionate, it's a line level, it's going to determine how strong the amplifier internally is going to be powered up. Same thing here, except this one, if it's set to line, it's 100%, 0 to 10, all line. Here, there's a gradual transfer over to a mic input. So you want to be the person in charge. Now this one also, you want to be sure that you're taking care of it, because you can, like I just said, overclock it, which basically means you could damage the speaker. You can put it in a volume level that's dangerous for itself. It's going to protect itself to a degree, but if you manually turned up the gain so high that you're driving way too much preamp into the amplifier, you could eventually damage it. So proportionately, they sound very close if you take the time to EQ them both up, that sort of thing. Now here, this speaker basically only has a contour switch in the back, so that's the difference between putting it on the floor or up against a wall and having it freestanding on a pole. So if you have it freestanding on a pole and you want to sound as good as, let's say, your other speaker, which is closer to the wall, you would probably use the contour. If you're at very low volume and you want to boost up the highs and the lows a bit, you use the contour. But primarily that was used to set it up so this way if it's close to the wall or on the floor and the second speaker isn't, you can kind of get them to match sound the same. That's what's going on here. Now this guy here, of course, it has the app. So again, $150 more in the US. You're going to have the app, the entire interface, everything. Now there were comments on this speaker, and I have to agree, it would be nice that on the version 2 of this product that they actually give you a display on the back, so this way you don't have the app. Because if you can't remember what you set it in, that's kind of a drawback, because you're basically going to have to make sure you have the phone or the tablet you've got. Take a look at how you set the EQ, so this way you can run the speaker. Sometimes you may have the speaker for like a month or two between uses, and if that's the case, you might not remember how you left it, and if you don't have the app with you, well, you're kind of going to be left to do what I do, which is turn the EQ off altogether just to be on the safe side. right, let's just talk about the actual box design real fast and cover all those great features on it. We've talked about this on the video, so there'll be a link for this video as well where we just talked about the Alto, and there's another link that'll be just for this guy here. So you get the 612 and the Alto separately. But really, what are we talking about? It's all about the engineering, it's all about the design. With this one here, you've got a lot of sharp angles that bring the box in, reinforces the whole thing. Think of trusses that hold up a building. You go in a building, there's very little support across the whole span because the trusses are in the ceiling. That holds everything together. Same thing happening here. It's just a lot of great engineering. It allows them to use lighter materials, good combination of plastics and polymers, all kinds of great things that make this good. Again, I'm not a chemist, but I can tell you it's pretty solid stuff. Now, it also holds the vibrations down to a minimum, so you get very little leakage of sound from inside to outside. You get proper bass, residual bass off the box, which is what you're looking for, but not a lot of boomy, rattly sounds or anything like that. Lots of handles, 4 handles. They put one on each side, one at the bottom, one at the top. Makes it easy to pick up and put on top of a pole. Outside of that, they do put their name. They screw everything down really well. They use 4 screws for the handle on the bottom, 4 screws for the handle on the top. Everything's visually, aesthetically pleasing. The covers are same finish, same type of material. They both have a subtle curve to them for design, and that's to stop them from vibrating. They're thick enough that they hold themselves solid. They're not going to make any noise. They're not going to distort the sound at all. So both really nice, and they both have a spongy material behind it to, well, you know, diffuse the sound properly, so this way this doesn't vibrate, but at the same time give it much more aesthetically pleasing look to it. That is for sure. Now, JBL, a little bit more plastic inside of it, material-wise. They do encase their amp plate in its own compartment, which is rare, I have to say. I haven't seen that too often, and I think that's a thing they do really well. It also helps stiffen up the box because it doesn't have as many angles as the Alto does. So that's one of the things. Material-wise, you know, more plasticky, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, I've seen this speaker get tossed around pretty good. Again, for the purpose why you're going to buy one of these guys at a little bit more of a price, this is kind of a neat idea. I like the fact that it's very rugged in that sense. Now, and I say rugged, it's more or less, I'm going to say, the way it's finished. It's just, you know, like plastic. You finish to it, and that's not bad. I mean, that's what I expected to see. Here, it's got a much nicer look to it, but it's almost got a sandpapery texture to it, which basically means everything. When you take it out of the box, there's a lot of dust debris, and, you know, you clean it a lot. So, and that's just aesthetic. So, you know, not a big deal there. Again, when you get to the back side, the speaker is taller, so there's a bit of a stretch between them. They do both have fly-wire connectivity to it. Again, like I was saying on the Alto, you do have a contour button. So if you're going to go with the basics of what you really need, contour button is pretty much what you're really going to need. It does set everything up for you in the sense of what your normally expectation of using this product is. So gymnasiums, halls, banquet halls, reception halls, outdoor PA use, that sort of thing. That's going to be the primary option that you're going to want to have for that one feature. So that's really, if you, what do I need on this? I need that. That's what I need. And you have, and the jacks are combo jacks, so they will take a 1/4 inch and an XLR, balance or unbalanced, and they do have a mixed output. So remember, these knobs are for your gain controls on the amplifier, how much power we're going to put on the amp. And here on this guy here, it goes up to about 2 o'clock, and then it's really starting to lean into the microphone input. So that's where you got to watch it. So over here, combo jacks as well, mixed out, pass through on here, and again, 1/4 inch or XLR, balanced or unbalanced. Now, this is the important part, like we've covered it on this video here. When you go look at it, this, you need to have a pen or something to turn this from microphone line back and forth. So if I actually covered that, people wouldn't know it's there. And again, if I was renting it, if I was using it in a school gymnasium where a lot of people use it, or if I was using it in a hall where, or a hotel where I'm renting it out to my clients on a need usage, I can do that. I can do all of that with this speaker here. It's really good for that. Outside of that, of course, it has all the app controls, the Bluetooth syncing, the reboot options, and all of that located right up on top. Both of them, actually, no, sorry, just this one has the ability to turn the light on and off in the front if you want. There you go. That's pretty much it. Now remember, this one does come in a switch. That's 110 to 220. This one is a built-in jumper, so depending on where you buy it in the world, it's going to be set up for your market, and that speaker is going to be ready. But if for some particular reason you do put this in a container and ship it halfway around the world and you need to change it from 110 to 220, you will need to remove it. There's a jumper inside that has to be switched around, and then it's good to go. Outside of that, pretty much covers everything there. Again, remember, we're doing this while we're doing the sound tests, so we're going to go back and forth a bit on that. One last thing I would say is the safety stickers on it, ETL from Intertech on the back here. These are important on all the products that you buy. This one actually has a CUL sticker on it, so a little bit more expensive, but the same level and respected just as much. Either way, very important. Remember, all these little logos that are here cost money to have them inspected, tested, certified, make sure they're not using bad chemicals in their products, making sure that they're properly manufactured to meet all the right specifications. So they both do that, and they put a lot of attention into that. That's why they're popular brand names. All right, so there we go. So we're all set up. It's all done now. Just remember, we had these speakers set up at 75%, and we had the EQs all set at flat to give an equal comparison. You've been listening to the speakers, you've been listening to me talk, you've heard the JBL, you've heard the Alto. It's all up to you now. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of questions at the bottom, and there always is. Remember, all the links there for where you can get these speakers from our website and from Amazon.com or Amazon.ca, because they're who we are affiliated with now, is all down below. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. I try and get to people as I can, and I hope you like the video. We'll see you on the next one. If you've subscribed, I want to say thank you very much. If you have not, well, now's a pretty good opportunity. We're going to have some more videos after this like usual, and we'll have another poll. So we'll do some more comparisons. Talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.